The Forsaken Hero. Volume 2. Chapter 7. Another Person. The Scorching Execution Ground. This dungeon's feature is that the temperature rises every floor you descend. For example, floor 1 is 0 degrees Celsius, floor 2 is 1 degree Celsius, floor 3 is 2 degrees Celsius. In other words, people that can make use of fire and ice magic are essential in capturing this dungeon. We began searching floor 10 at 4 o'clock in the morning in an area of intense cold. Our bodies began to loosen a little, and began to reach the point where we could move decently. Here, Leedred, drink this potion.
I'll gladly accept it.
When I took the test tube-like bottle that contained a potion from my pouch and passed it, Leedred that had fallen behind removed the cap and drank it. So far, we've had her using her magic without participating in battles. Otherwise, we would have all froze to death. Leedred softened our wrists and ankles in preparation for fights. Hayase looked around the surroundings and reported enemies to us.
There are 3 Sorianos and 2 Lingtons approaching from the front. Contact in 15 seconds.
Hayase, whose eyesight had become better than ours as a side effect of demonic eyes, was able to quickly relay information to us from looking. In a dungeon like this with little light, it was a precious power. Got it? Leedred, it's unfortunate but do it now. Tamaki moved to the rear guard to escort Hayase.
Okay. Leave it to me.
I was waiting for this.
Leedred drew her sword and began licking her lips as she began the preemptive strike. As Hayase said, what came into view was a Soriarnos. A creature 5 times the size of a flying bat. And a Lington. A giantized pillbug that would curl their body and crush adventurers' bones with their hard carapace.
I got it.
Leedred's sword cut the Soriarnos' body in 2 in the air.
Leave the ones in the air to me. Hero, you and Shuri get the Lingtons.
Leedred gleefully swung her sword. Looking at the situation, we decided to concentrate on the Lingtons first. Shuri, get the right side. Don't let them get behind us.
I understand.
After I issued the instruction, without stopping I ran to the front of the Lington and assaulted it. Wind. The wind made the Lington stop moving forward. A small gap formed between the demon's body and the ground. I kicked it up like a soccer ball. Without killing its momentum, the Lington crashed into the ceiling. The body that was rolled into a ball opened from the impact. I pierced its abdomen with my sword before it could roll its body back into a ball. It was weak to attacks from the inner part. A short scream from a Lington was heard from nearby. There was a corpse split by Shuri's daggers under her feet.
Done here as well.
Understanding with a glance, Leedred, who had been enjoying the fight, also came back.
No matter how many times I see it, you're all so strong.
Hayase, who had been the spectator, let out her thoughts. For the sake of revenge, I have to be stronger than Samajima.
Revenge, is it?
Hayase tilted her head. Which reminds me, I never told her. Ah, right. I am gathering companions in order to kill Samajima. Of course, both Shuri and Tamaki stand with me knowing this. Are you disillusioned?
No, because Samajima deserves it. I don't mind.
I thought you would say that. And so, I was able to inform her while also gaining peace of mind. Hayase won't defy me, because I gave her conviction. Alright, we've cooperated so far, so let's continue as we have and find the boss room. We stepped foot inside. Shortly after, we arrived at the boss room. Like the high wolf on the 10th floor's boss room of Wriggle's Den, there was a giant wolf whose body was large enough to make up for the temperature difference in the boss room of Scorching Execution Ground.
The giant wolf has high resistance to fire magic. Contrary to its large body, it has high agility, so be careful. Good luck, you 3.
We were supported by the easy explanation from Hayase and Tamaki behind us, and confronted the giant. Trying to whittle down this guy's stamina here would be wasteful. Reason being, we experimented with the same strategy that Tamaki put to use in Trance Labyrinth. That was whether my shield could be manipulated like that as well. Leedred, Shuri, can you hold him in one place? There is something that I want to try.
Understood.
Roger.
Acknowledging it with a single word each, Leedred leapt into the sky and slashed. Shuri made use of her small body and attacked the giant wolf's legs, giving it small wounds. When the giant wolf tried to trample Shuri, Leedred used the timing to get its attention. I think she was playing with the dog as though it were a pet. In the meantime, I solidified the image. Because it was the first time using it, I was worried that I wouldn't do it right. However, it couldn't be helped. I began to prepare. O spirits of the earth, create a shield and protect me. Multi-guard. The developing solid earth shields entered the left and right of the giant wolf's vision and it took notice. Furthermore, I repeated the chant 5 times to build the walls up. Looking at the wolf like a test subject, it was breathing unsteadily. Well, even though it noticed it won't be able to escape. Now's the chance. You two, get away from there. Complying with my words, Shuri and Leedred stepped away a large distance. The hands that I had opened before, I clenched as tightly as I could. Earth Vice. The shields rapidly moved together in conjunction towards the giant wolf. Because Shuri had continued to torment its legs, it couldn't move. At last, the giant was sandwiched. At that moment, red blood splattered nearby. The heavy shield didn't stop, and we could hear its bones being crushed into little pieces like a demon eating its prey from far away. Before long, its movements stopped. At that point there were no longer any vestiges of its large build, it looked like a common corpse that was brutally mangled. Experiment, successful. The boss on the 10th floor was defeated in about 10 minutes, and we were crushing the 13th floor. We were in a room on that floor. It was a monster house, though when we opened the door we left it like that, so that the monsters wouldn't reappear. After us three one-sidedly trampled the floor, we returned to Tamaki and Hayase having a leisurely talk.
According to one theory, due to Tyria's appearance, Messiah was pressured into ordering her most powerful subordinates to hold up in buildings in her possession, waiting for the chance of a counterattack.
We used Hayase's Grand Library to research the history of this world from before we were summoned. Still, obtaining information like this is a lifesaver. Because she can accurately tell us what to be careful of and the weak points of demons, our progress advancing has been fast.
Everyone, thank you for your effort. Thank you for your effort.
The girls gave us words of appreciation. Tamaki was the same as usual, but Hayase was somewhat apologetic. What is it?
Is there really nothing that I could do? Your group is the only ones having to work.
What? It was something like that. Don't worry about it. It's not time for you to act yet. Right, we can't afford to use her power on this layer and need to preserve it for later. Crimson Eyes of Destruction consumes magic in large quantities, but it's just that powerful of an ability. It's necessary to save it until the second half. Because Tamaki's specialty is ice magic, the same goes for her. We don't mind that it's us three for now.
I understand. Until then, keep doing your best.
If something happens, me and Leedred will take care of it. You shouldn't strain yourself. If we were to use your power in a place like this, we'll be exhausted at the end.
Is that so? I'm inexperienced, so I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. I expect great things from you.
Yes.
And, Leedred tapped on my shoulder.
Hero. How far are we going today?
Samajima has been progressing at 3 floors per day, so I'd think the 34th floor at least. He had already captured the 30th floor. His predicted routine for today is the 33rd floor. So as to not encounter him, we rushed to an unexplored floor before they arrived, and met with the dungeon guardian before Samajima. For that reason we continued to go down without returning to the surface. However, when it was time to sleep we went up a floor. That was absolute. Rest is important for the body. Inside where the temperature is high, continuing without proper rest is hazardous. Tamaki, what's the time?
6:30.
13 floors in less than 2 hours. By the time they arrive at the dungeon's entrance we should be somewhere around the 30th floor. Our speed was ideal. Alright, let's use this place to rest for a little. Also, check your statuses.
All right. It's finally possible to sit down. Certainly.
Understood.
Each gave their response in turn, and everyone opened their status windows. As I thought that, Tamaki let out a loud gasp. What's wrong? I immediately rushed over to where Tamaki was.
Sorry. I was kind of surprised. Take a look at this.
Tamaki pointed at the text below the special ability status.
Tamaki Ue. Job, high grade slave level 52. Stamina, 1210. Mana, 3480. Strength 1430. Resistance, 1240. Dexterity, 1000. Special abilities. Frost Witch. Increase the effectiveness of ice magic by 1 rank. Cannot surpass divine rank. Incantation Omission. Can omit the necessary incantation when invoking a magic. However, mana consumption increases to 50%. Unique abilities. Chant Substitution. Magic can be activated without invocation by a preset action. Special condition. High-grade slave. Master, Katsurogi Daiichi. Any attack against your master, Katsurogi Daiichi, is blocked. Forced obedience until released.
A new 2-word ability was added to Tamaki's entry.